I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-Minute Convos, where I help you create a brand of your own unique real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Jim Sweeney. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm going very, very well. Actually, excellent.
Hey, I love that. I love that. Please do tell me, what part of the world are you in right now?
Clearwater, Florida. It's in west central Florida, overlooking the Gulf of Mexico.
Hey, Jim, there was a lady I spoke to, and she's from there as well. And hey, she carries the last name Sweeney as well. Maybe I should connect you both.
That would be my spectacular wife, Maura.
Oh, there
We've
we
been
go.
married for 37 years,
There
met
we
in
go.
September 1977 in college at the
Wow.
University in Boston.
Wow. Beautiful. Well, Jim, it's amazing. I had a super great conversation with Maura, and I look forward to having this conversation with you. Please do tell me, which of your talents is responsible for us meeting?
Making good choices, if that's called a talent. I chose to marry Maura, who had a great experience on your show, and we have a thing where every morning we just sit down for an hour, sometimes longer, and we talk over coffee, and we discuss the things that are important in our lives and things that have just transpired in our lives. And she shared her experience with you on the show and recommended me to reach out to you and you to contact me so that we could have this conversation, which we're having tonight.
Wow. Wow, that's fascinating. Jim, tell us a bit about what you've done. I know that's a lot to summarize after reading your bio, but yeah, please do tell us what you've done.
Well, for many years, I owned my own business in the computer industry in Florida, and it was an independent sales firm. We represented about a dozen computer factories at any point in time. Did extraordinarily well, quietly, uh, and enabled us to put ourselves in a position to do what we're doing now. We went cold turkey, transitioned out of the computer sales company that we owned to become content creators. And I've created a trademarked cartoon sports character by the name of Mike. And my goal with Mike, who's a microphone, and we call him the ultimate talking head on sports, the goal is pretty audacious. It's to develop Mike into the sports world's first ever animated brand to transcend all sports. So I have animation with Mike. I have a short podcast. I have blogged over 950 times through the voice of my Mike character.
Wow.
And I've published 40 sports comic books, which you could safely download from Amazon.
Wow, wow, wow. And that is still only the tip of the iceberg, folks. Like I think is it because of the sportsman you are? You have this incredible stamina. I said stamina, stamina for projects or for setting a goal and going after it.
I think that's one of the contributing factors, but it's a number of things. I have a love and a passion for words and for humor and to convey messages responsibly. And one of the things that I believe my Mike character does and will continue to do, and hopefully do on a much larger basis, is to be able to convey stories or comments or opinions or encouragement that pertain to life, even though he's involved in the world of sports. So yes, having an athletic background personally has contributed to my discipline so that I have this stamina, but I also have a strong passion and desire based on things I like and I feel very strongly about, and I'm convicted, to doing the right thing through the voice of our character and very responsibly.
We could definitely take a quick spin on this. I would like to say I think you are a very intelligent person, but most definitely I'm getting the wisdom aspect of what you've created here, which is an opportunity to immortalize a voice. What would you say to that?
I would say yes, and thank you for recognizing that. I received a compliment. Uh, Yes, you need to be responsible. If you're given a big gift, and I think Mike is a gift for me personally in my life, even though he hasn't gotten to the level I envision him getting to, I want to be responsible. I want to be prudent in the things that I do and I say with the character, and I want to be able to share him with a global audience.
Fascinating. So why will you continue to repeat this skill? You've spoken of the challenges to get this to the place you desire for it to be. Why will you continue?
Why will I continue? Because it's my passion. The idea for Mike and all of the many ways in which he could be manifested in the media, I believe, was coursing through my DNA when I was born 59 years ago.
Wow.
And I think it's just in me to do.
What is one other thing you've done consistently over the last 3 years?
One thing I do is I'm a list maker. Every day, I even type up a list. I get my coffee, I go to my computer, I type it up, I print it out, and I prioritize things after I've typed my list. So uh, it's something that I've always done. I've always been a list guy, and I'm fanatical about it now because I have so much that I want to do during the course of the day. I don't want to forget those things that I know need to be done, but maybe I could have forgotten to do them.
How does it make you feel?
It makes me feel great when I could look at my list at the end of the day and see that I've got check marks, in all of the right places, that I've accomplished what I set out to do and actually wrote it down on my list. It makes me feel great.
Yeah, it does. You know, I'm a bit guilty of actually putting things that I've completed just to put the check next to it.
Well, we got to get you to work on that, pal.
Why would you suggest someone that's listening do what you've done by really structuring things and putting value on every day of life?
Oh, absolutely. I would encourage people, to assess where you are, to take inventory of the things that you're currently doing, as well as the things that you need to do. And sometimes, some people journal, some people like to write lists like I do. Some people have like a chalkboard in their office and they manually write things down. And I think that helps you stay on the rails and keep you grounded, and also helps you see your goal. It can be very visual at time when you see that you've written something down and you haven't checked that thing off your list. Hopefully it motivates you to get it done.
Amazing audience. We are live with Jim Sweeney. Do check out Mike on Sports. Love it. I just love it. Even the artwork, right? And the mic and the tie, I love it. Do check out Mike on Sports. Well, Jim, let's switch gears for a moment and let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Every time I'm going to say Jim, I'm saying Mike in my mind.
Yes.
Jim, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Sitting in my high chair in our family's kitchen. That was like the beehive of activity for the house. And you could see everybody it was a small house. You could see everybody gathered in the kitchen or in the living room, very close by. And even though our house was small, we had a lot of activity because I grew up in the city, and the house was my grandparents' house. So my parents lived there with me and my sister. And just about every day, I had one of a litany of cousins that would come traipsing through the house. Plus, we had plenty of other relatives that lived within walking distance.
Wow. How old do you think you were?
I was in a high chair, so I'm thinking a year and a half, maybe a little bit older.
Wow. Why do you think this memory is so clear?
Because I had a very good upbringing, wonderful family life. Very nurturing, very safe, always a lot of activity, and people, I was very fortunate that people poured into my life. And, I've never been asked that question before, so I'm kind of struggling to answer it as articulately as I would like. And I hope I have. It's just a number of
cool.
people that were in our house, and it was always a positive environment, a great atmosphere. So that's why I think it resonates, over 50 something years later.
Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Do it.
I love the high chair image. It's like you're the commentator
Yes.
there, right? You're not speaking
Yes.
just yet, right? But you're definitely looking at
Yeah.
the players, you're seeing the players, you're analyzing, and to see that now you have had the opportunity to amplify your voice with everything you have seen and everything you do understand is very fascinating.
Oh, I think that's spot on. I'm more of an observer than I am a guy that wants to pick up the microphone as himself, Jim Sweeney, instead of through the voice of a cartoon character and explain things. So I never thought of it that way, but hey, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Sugar, Sugar by the Archies.
There we go. All connects, folks. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Well, Jim, we have arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here, Jim. Jim, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
One.
How many?
25-year-old daughter, and she lives in Brooklyn, New York.
There we go. Do you believe in God?
Absolutely.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes, I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Sometimes.
Okay, and what about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Less than.
Jim, after having 1,001 conversations in 3 months, I came up with a workbook that's called Yours, and it stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. Connected to that is your own unique real statement, your mission. If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, what would that be?
Just go for it.
Love it. Jim Sweeney, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Thanks for giving me the privilege to be able to share my story on your program.
You are welcome. It's been my pleasure. Jim Sweeney, thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you, Angel.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.